Over the past few years, information regarding the development of a new Russian airborne strategic command post based on the Il-96 400M under the Zveno 3S program has progressively surfaced. Interest in the project intensified after the first flight of the Il-96 400M in November 2023, while early reports had already appeared in defense publications and aviation industry sources between 2020 and 2021. The topic returned to headlines again throughout 2025 and 2026 as testing of the aircraft continued alongside revisions to Russia's nuclear doctrine. And honestly, this is one of those military projects that sounds almost fictional until you realize both Russia and the United States are investing heavily in exactly this kind of system. Yet the biggest mistake people make is reducing the entire story to Russia built another airplane. In reality, this is about a reserve airborne command and control system for Russia's strategic nuclear forces. The aircraft itself is simply the platform. The actual mission is preserving state command capability during an extreme wartime scenario, including a potential nuclear conflict. That changes the entire meaning of the project. And once you understand that, the next question becomes unavoidable. Why does Russia suddenly need a new airborne command post in the first place? Today, the backbone of Russia's airborne strategic command fleet remains the Il-80 aircraft, developed from the civilian Il-86 airliner during the late Soviet period. NATO designated these aircraft as MaxDome. They entered service back in the 1980s and were designed for a technological environment that barely resembles today's battlefield reality. According to open-source reporting, only a limited number of the originally produced aircraft remain operational. Some people forget just how old these systems really are. The aircraft themselves are aging physically, while much of their onboard equipment no longer aligns with modern operational demands. Communication systems, encrypted data transfer methods, electronic warfare technologies, and cyber resilience standards have all evolved dramatically over the past several decades. What worked during the late Cold War simply cannot guarantee survivability in the digital battle space of the 21st century. In response, Moscow initiated work on a next-generation airborne command platform. Interestingly, the United States is doing almost the exact same thing through its replacement program for the Boeing E-4B Nightwatch fleet. So this is not some isolated Russian obsession. Both of the world's largest nuclear powers have independently reached the same conclusion. The airborne component of strategic command infrastructure must be modernized. That parallel development alone tells you how seriously military planners view the issue. And that naturally leads to another major question. Why was the Il-96 400M chosen as the platform for such an important mission? The decision was not about prestige, nor was it simply an attempt to rescue Russia's civilian wide-body aircraft program. The Il-96 400M was selected because of practical engineering logic. It is a long-range wide-body aircraft powered by 4 PS-90A1 engines. In commercial aviation today, 4-engine aircraft are often considered inefficient compared to twin-engine Boeing or Airbus jets. But military requirements are a completely different conversation. 4 engines provide additional survivability and operational redundancy during long-duration missions. If one system fails, the aircraft still retains greater operational safety margins. During a strategic crisis, reliability matters far more than fuel economy. That is why many observers, including altitude addicts following long-range strategic aviation trends, view the Il-96 400M as an ideal foundation for Russia's next airborne command aircraft. The aircraft itself is a heavily upgraded evolution of the Il-96 family. It features an extended fuselage, upgraded avionics, revised flight systems, and more powerful PS-90A1 engines. Russian sources suggest the aircraft's operational range could exceed 10,000 kilometers, allowing it to remain airborne for extremely long periods without refueling. That endurance is absolutely critical for a command aircraft expected to survive prolonged crisis scenarios. Its enormous internal volume is equally important. Airborne command posts require massive quantities of specialized equipment, secure communication systems, encrypted networks, computing infrastructure, and dedicated command stations. In effect, these aircraft become airborne fortified headquarters designed to coordinate multiple branches of the nuclear triad simultaneously. It is basically a flying strategic bunker. A very expensive one too, by the way. And this is where the phrase "doomsday plane" starts making a lot more sense. Popular culture often portrays these aircraft as evacuation transports for political leaders. In reality, that role is secondary. The primary objective is maintaining continuity of command over strategic nuclear forces if ground infrastructure is destroyed or severely damaged. Without that capability, nuclear deterrence itself becomes unstable. That means the aircraft must preserve the ability to transmit launch orders to strategic missile forces, nuclear submarines, long-range bombers, and other elements of the nuclear deterrence system. Certain reports even suggest these aircraft can communicate with submarines through extremely low-frequency transmission systems. Those systems are specifically designed for communication under some of the harshest operational conditions imaginable. In practice, the aircraft functions as a reserve national command center capable of coordinating military operations during catastrophic scenarios. If fixed command facilities are destroyed, the airborne command post becomes a backup node capable of preserving strategic decision-making and transmitting orders. It is not glamorous. It is not cinematic. It is fundamentally about ensuring the state can still function under the worst imaginable conditions. From the perspective of nuclear deterrence theory, systems like these are absolutely critical. Even the world's most powerful nuclear arsenal becomes meaningless if leadership cannot reliably issue commands during a crisis. That is why airborne command systems are considered essential components of a credible second strike capability. Strategic planners obsess over this kind of thing because command survivability is the backbone of deterrence itself. And the project became even more important after changes to Russia's nuclear doctrine. In 2024, Russia revised its nuclear doctrine, significantly expanding the range of scenarios under which nuclear weapons could potentially be used. The updated language included responses not only to nuclear attacks, but also to large-scale conventional aggression, posing a critical threat to the state. That doctrinal shift automatically increases the importance of resilient command and control systems. The broader the range of possible crisis scenarios becomes, the more essential survivable command infrastructure becomes as well. Airborne command posts are therefore transitioning from reserve systems into core elements of national strategic stability. Western defense terminology often describes this concept as assured command and control, meaning the guaranteed survival of command structures even after catastrophic attacks on national infrastructure. Russia's new Airborne Command Initiative appears directly aligned with that framework. Of course, building such a system is far easier said than done. Despite the project's strategic importance, major industrial and technological obstacles remain. One of the biggest concerns is the slow production rate of the Il-96 400M itself. Historically, the Voronezh Aircraft Production Association manufactured these aircraft in extremely limited numbers, while airborne command variants require extensive customization and integration of classified systems. That combination naturally stretches development timelines. Another challenge involves technological independence. After sanctions introduced following 2014, and especially after 2022, Russia accelerated efforts to localize onboard electronics and communications equipment. Achieving that level of technological independence for civilian aircraft is already difficult. For strategic military command aircraft, the requirements are even stricter. Then there is the future engine question. While the Il-96 400M currently uses PS-90A1 engines, Russian industry is also developing the more powerful PD-35 engine family for future wide-body aircraft. Any redesign around a different engine architecture could require additional structural modifications and extended testing cycles. These projects always sound simple in headlines, but in reality, every single modification creates another chain of engineering challenges. Still, for airborne command aircraft, efficiency remains secondary to reliability and survivability. That is why the four-engine configuration continues to make strategic sense for the military variant. And according to Altitude Addicts, tracking global airborne command programs, survivability considerations consistently outweigh commercial efficiency in nearly every modern strategic command aircraft initiative. Comparing Russia's program to America's also reveals important differences. The American replacement effort for the E-4B Nightwatch fleet is significantly larger in both budget and scope. Through the Survivable Airborne Operations Center program, commonly known as OAK, the United States plans to acquire at least 4 next-generation airborne command aircraft. The program itself is valued in the billions of dollars. Russia's effort appears more modest by comparison. Current information suggests Moscow may initially build 2 aircraft, with a possible expansion to 3 later on. But the strategic requirements differ as well. In systems like these, absolute fleet size matters less than continuous operational readiness. The objective is ensuring that at least one aircraft can rapidly launch during a crisis, while another remains available as a reserve platform. In that context, even 2 modern airborne command aircraft could provide a sustainable and credible strategic capability. Sometimes, military strategy is less about huge numbers and more about maintaining a few systems that absolutely cannot fail. And ultimately, that brings us to the real meaning of the Zveno 3S program for Russia itself. The project's significance is not really about the aircraft alone. It is about preserving the survivability of Russia's strategic command infrastructure under extreme wartime conditions. For Moscow, airborne command posts are not prestige projects. They are functional pillars of nuclear deterrence and national continuity. That explains why the Il-96 400M airborne command aircraft program has attracted increasing attention both inside and outside Russia. The aircraft effectively becomes part of the infrastructure designed to guarantee continuity of state authority during catastrophic conflict scenarios. And honestly, that is probably why these aircraft continue to fascinate people so much, because they represent preparations for situations everyone hopes never actually happen. Precise deployment timelines remain classified. Nevertheless, Russian leadership clearly appears to view the Zveno 3S initiative as a long-term investment in preserving the resilience of the country's strategic command architecture for decades ahead. According to Altitude Addicts, following strategic aviation developments worldwide, the modernization of airborne nuclear command systems may quietly become one of the defining military infrastructure races of the coming decade. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe the channel. Please also take the channel membership to encourage us.